can, I'd say how this eddy looks, but really how it feels. I've put the jig in there twice at the tail end of it, and it's hard bottom. It's not like the last one that was heavy with leaf litter. It doesn't look like it's terribly deep. I mean, I'm sitting here and there's good current out here. I'm sitting out in maybe 2.5 feet of water, tops. So it's not real deep, but it's still, as we move in towards the shoreline, it's still, and it's hard bottom. That's a good fish. Get away from that log. Oh God, he's big. Get out here. Yeah, let's go out here. That's good. Good. No, don't go back. So leading a fish away from his hole is a good way to not freak out the other fish in that area. You put him back into that spot with his buddies. His buddies are going to be like, what happened to you? So we're going to run him out. I was trying to just get him away from, what's that? I was trying to get him away from the log that I cast it to, and I said, there's going to be a good fish on that, and I was right. So this fat fish's first move was to dive down towards the log that I could see. There was a hard bottom back in there. You know, I could feel it with the jig, and he was running to dive back under that log. And once he started turning out into open water, I'm like, good. I'm gonna turn my motor on, and we're gonna run out here together. If you have a group of fish together in a wintering hole, if you can move the fish just a little bit, yeah, he's 18.5 incher, biggest for the day so far. It's a good move to just get him out of that area. I was talking with my buddy Chris Gorsuch, and he said he was on Candlewood Lake recently, and he was with a buddy who had either the Panoptics or I think it was the Panoptics. They released a fish. They watched the fish go back into a pod of active fish, and as soon as that 15 incher went back into there, they all scattered. It's like he went back, he's like, hey everyone, there's fishermen up there, watch out. And they all left. Like they actually watched it on Panoptics. So I'm down below there. At least this fish is gonna, you know, he's not far from where I caught him, but at least this fish is going to have time to calm down and not alert his friends that you know, that I'm here. So I'll release him and you know, get this fish, you know, he can hang out in this leaf litter eddy down here. I'm gonna go back up there. By the time it takes him to get back up there, he may not be quite as freaked out. So nice one. I'm starting to move back up to where I caught that fish, and I'll say it really was cool and interesting to hear my buddy Chris tell that story about, you know, the smallmouth he caught up on Candlewood. They got a lot of good fish, and they could see, you know, groups of them on the Panoptics. But for him to explain that, yes, the thing that we all kind of know from winter fishing on the Susquehanna, where you put one fish back into a school of active fish, that it shuts them down, you know, after you catch them. For him to tell that story and see that happen real time on Panoptics was like, yes, it's a validation of what we've all experienced. And understand, I'm not advocating that you take this fish across the river and release him. I've moved him, I don't think I've moved him 40 or 50 yards downstream. I hope it's enough that I come back to this spot and say he's got his buddy in there, and his buddy doesn't know yet that I'm here. And by the time this one comes back up and figures out where he is, maybe he will have shaken it off. Maybe he will have said, hey, where'd you go? I don't know, it was a bad thing, man. Well, by then maybe I've caught a few more, so it makes a difference. Let's get another one. Nice hard bottom in here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. The concept of releasing fish away from their buddies is working today. Another good one. Let's lead him out. Another really solid fish. I'm gonna loosen the drag. Let him run. Another real good fish. If I put the previous fish back in that same hole immediately, I would not have caught this guy. Another solid fish out of 37-degree water on a hard bottom. Look at this. We talk about the presence of flathead catfish. Is that one biting it? I've seen 3 of them like it today. I don't know. You see the scale damage on that, right? Just wonder. I mean, it is clearly. I'm gonna hold him under for a second. We're gonna take a closer look with the camera. But we're drifting down. We'll release him where we released the other one in the eddy below it. All right. Another real nice fish from that eddy. Yeah, 18 and a quarter. But tell me, do you see the scale damage? Does it not look like half of a bite mark? I mean, right there. Same thing on the other side. Did something get a hold of this fish? Scale damage there. I mean, yes, we have the spots, but we've had the spots. But that, to me, I don't know. I gotta let him go. But I've seen a lot of that, and it makes me think these fish are getting mauled out here. All right, see you, guy. Thank you for playing. There he goes. All right, I'm anchored up where I released both of them. I'm going to show you the distance that I just moved them away from their buddies. I'll go in there and see if I can catch another one. But 2 of them over 18 in a spot that I don't think I would have caught the second one had I released the first one right there. But I'm here in this kind of leaf litter eddy right below it, and he was right up there, just on the left side of that bank, maybe 10 feet out, and there's a log sitting there. So not a great distance, but there is a distance, and that fish is probably chilling out here, recovering. He will make his way back up to his buddies, but I don't like to release them, where they can immediately go in and tell their buddies, hey, I'm freaked out. Maybe I shouldn't eat. I want them to keep eating. All right, let's go see if I can make another one keep eating. All right, remember to ease up a little bit as you come in on there. You don't want to throw a big wake on the spot. I was zooming up at you know, against the current at probably 4.5, 5. As I get closer, that stealth approach is important. You know, you want to ease into the spot. You don't want to throw a big wake in on there and let them know, hey, I'm here. His two buddies shouldn't have told him yet. I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to throw a wake on there and say, hey, something big just arrived. No. Stealth approaches. Ease up. Stabilize. Get your feet on the foot control steering. Look at your target. Ask yourself, do I have this at the right setting to hold the current that I'm in and be able to deliver a nice jiggy presentation right into the sweet spot next to that log on that hard bottom where there's basically no current. So I've moved up in the same eddy just a little bit. You know, I'm still part of the same spot roughly. Just working my way up. It's important to sort of acknowledge, hey, am I catching fish at the tail end of the eddy, which is where those two nice fish were from, somewhere in the middle, which is where I'm at now, or all the way up at the top. If I don't get a couple bites here soon in this middle portion, I will head up to the top. But typically, you know, the very end of it and the very top of it, so tops and bottoms are high percentage areas for fish that are actively feeding. That tail out is my favorite for big fish anyways. The most aggressive fish, the ones that say I need to eat, they push all the way up to the top. So maybe the first two places that you start working. I'm gonna very slowly move up to the tip of it. The wind is really pushing me towards it. So the first anchor, I'm gonna put 2 anchors down, but the first one I'm gonna put down is the reel down. And then, yeah, I could cast all the way up to the top of it. I may not put down the front one because it is an obstruction off the front of the boat when I'm bringing fish in. I may just, you know, it's funny that the wind is actually pushing me upstream towards the top of that. I think I'm good with just the rear anchor from this position. Let's go ahead and get a jig right up on that current seam, and I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as it comes over that edge, one of them that's pressed up in that really super aggressive position in this big eddy jams it. Keeping that line taut is everything. Very important. Good fish. Yep. He's dragging me up towards the top. No, stop. Stop dragging me to your friends. Let him breathe as we move a short distance. Out to this current and let him work out his frustrations out here before he goes back and tells his buddies. You know, they could still go right back to it and tell him. I don't want to take him real far, but release them away from their friends. Alright, see you, buddy. Alright, I only got that one bite thrown up at the top, so I'm dropping my front anchor and lowering or raising my rear anchor What that's going to do with this wind that's pushing upstream, it's going to swing me around with time, and I'm going to be facing, you know, the middle portion of the eddy. It's just a change in orientation. I'm going to give it a little bit of an assist, which it allows you to, you know, to work a different part of the eddy without actually going anywhere. You switch from rear anchor to front, face downstream. I got a nice current seam out here. I'm pretty much smack dab in the middle of this eddy. I can almost cast up to the tip there, current seam there, just a little bit down from the top is where I got that 16. And I'm going to turn around and face this way, hit the current seam a little bit downstream from me. So the idea of changing anchorings and looking downstream, it looks like it's paying off here. This is a very nice fish, and he was in the middle section of the eddy instead of the top. Hard bottom, and for sure a fat fish. A fat fish. You're another healthy 17-incher. Fatness. All right. Yeah.